Hello again guys, welcome back to another episode. I've been sent a box via a customer from Drone Junkie. So basically they've bought an Orlandoo and I've been asked if I will build it and paint it for them. Fingers crossed it will go alright. Yeah, basically they've sent it over to me the next day, so let's open this up and see what's inside. It's my cat. Cat, go away, go away. Get out of here, scram, scram. Okay, so we've got the D4L transmitter. This one's from Orlandoo Hunter. This is basically an all-in-one, so it comes with a receiver that you plug everything into and that will power the car. So it's really nice, easy setup, apart from I've got the Defender. So the lights on the Defender are an absolute pain in the arse. There's so many lights, so many tiny cables, but it is one of my all-time favourites that they've done so far. The client actually wants it in almost that colour with a white roof, but he wants white wheels. So let's see what else is in this box as well. We've got a mysterious box here. Okay, right, it says spare bulbs, but oh no, it's not spare bulbs. We have a set of the aluminium axles. Now these are the 55mm ones. We've also got a 2.2 gram servo. We have also got a 150 RPM motor, so this one's not going to be a fast car, but it will climb very well. We've also got some, what's this? Oh, a light bar. Yep, it's given us a light bar. He wants that wired in as well. A bit more electrical fun to be had. And then we've got in the box, we've got the upgraded suspension. So these ones are like coilover or adjustable suspension. So you've got to build those as well. And last but not least, we have the wheel weights. So these are the heavy wheel weights. He wants them put on the front. They do improve the vehicle's stability, I must admit. Such a tiny thing. Let's just show you this again. These are absolutely amazing, worth every penny if you're asking me. Look at these beautiful things. These are the metal 55mm axles. Oh, beautiful. Okay, we got the stickers, got the instruction book, and we've got loads of bags of bits. Loads and loads. I mean, you've got light clusters, wheels and tyres, and we've got the body itself of the Land Rover. It's got the glass in it, the spare wheel, the yacht suspension. We've got all the drop links, we've got the axles, the trusted tools and screws. Got a load of the chassis components there and the gearbox and gears and stuff like that. Inside the D4L controller there is stickers, the Book of Truth, there's a speaker, tiny LEDs and loads of really fine cable. There's connectors and a switch and an LED controller. Right, I guess it's time for me to make a start on this build and start opening some of these bags. Right, that's the gearbox built. Got the motor mounted on it already. Right, it's time to get started on these LEDs. This is going to take a while. These SMD LEDs are absolutely tiny, and you have to, solder this hair-like bit of cable on it. It's very tedious, very tedious. Here's a little bit of a tip. The SMD LEDs, if you get yourself one of these 3-volt watch batteries, you can use that to be able to test the LED to make sure that the connections you've soldered on are good and they're working. Okay, so I've managed to mount all of these SMD LEDs into the light clusters. That's a rear one. There you go, I've labelled all the cables. It's the other side, and that one's a front. Right, I'm building the chassis now, so basically everything that's involved with that. So that'll be all of the front bumper, rear bumper, side steps, all of the mounts for the axles to sit on, and the gearbox assembly in there as well. Okay, it's now time to tackle the suspension. So he's bought the ME5230 upgraded suspension. So I've done this in times 2 speed, so it's not quite as tedious. Basically, I put a little bit of grease in the end of it after putting the initial rod through, and then you screw up the top. Screwed up the top, get yourself a spring, put the spring over the top, and what you want to do is compress the spring and pull out the rod, and once you've done that you can hold that with the pliers and screw on the end cap, and then you're done. Now it's time to build these metal axles. Now these are beautiful, I must admit. A bag of screws, and look at the craftsmanship shipping these. These are absolutely wonderful. Okay, this is the front axle. I've still got to put the rods on the front, but basically we've attached all of the gubbins that we've got to do, and the rear one there. Once again, we've attached all the mounts for the suspension and stuff like that. Okay, so we've now got to build the plastic drive shafts. Okay, after I made both of the drive shafts, I then decided to go ahead and build the links. So you've got to make all of these links, the push and pull rods, whatever you want to call them. There is absolutely loads of them, so it takes ages. When it is that you've got these upgraded axles, then basically you haven't got an exact number on what length you need to make these push and pull rods, so it takes quite a while just, you know, adjusting it, pushing certain ones in and certain ones out to get the actual angle that you want on the axle itself. So yeah, it took a while. Okay, so there you have it. We've got the suspensions on working, everything is attached now, so we've pretty much got a rolling chassis. And then I decided to go ahead and try and solder all of these LEDs in. This took hours and hours. Right, soldering is all done, so I've managed to almost create wire harnesses using heat shrink, just to keep all them cables nice and tidy. We've also added the receiver on there as well, and the speaker on the back. So we have now got a complete working rolling chassis. Right, it's time to test this thing. So 2S battery, turn on your transmitter, turn on the car. Right, we've got a servo working, and we've got lights, we've got brake lights, we've got auxiliary lights, we've got a reverse light, we've got the front lights, and then we've got the indicators are working all the way around as well. So that's brilliant, awesome stuff. Right, it's time to get sanding on this body. Obviously there are some sort of factory lines that are on there, some seams and stuff, and you can see the injection moulding point there. And basically what I like to do is just go over it with a fine tooth comb before I put any paint down on it. You know, just remove all these little imperfections here and there. And before I got sanding, I also went through all of the holes, so the door handles, the window wipers as well. I did notice that one of the window wipers, it wasn't all the way through. There was actually a bit of plastic stopping it, which would have, you know, that would have created some really annoying moments later on. Right, that's the sanding done, so I've managed to remove a lot of the imperfections that were on this thing beforehand. Now it's time to start thinking about the paint. Right, so you want sort of like the Land Rover Series 3, sort of really light green. So I've managed to mix up this colour. Now that looks pretty close if you ask me. I've got a feeling it might dry a little bit darker, but hey ho, I mean it's a pretty good colour. So let's start getting this stuff on there. Right, I'll start with the inside of the car, and that's obviously to prevent any light pollution coming from the LEDs. After it is that I've done the inside of the car, it's then time to make a start on the outside. Now I apply nice thin coats, building up the layers nice and gently. Right, that's the first coat done. Time for many, many more. Okay, so I've managed to mask everything up now, ready for this white to go on the top. Hopefully it's going to come out all right. I mean, we've done as good as we can on the masking. Hopefully we won't have much bleed through. So I hold the airbrush quite far away for this one. That's just to stop the bleed through. So when I say bleed through, what I mean is when the paint sort of leaches underneath the masking tape. We don't want that to happen. So I sort of spray it from a reasonable distance first of all, but just build up some of them layers. So I'll start the wheels on the inside, try and get as much coverage as I can for all them little spots that you won't be able to reach when it is that I'm spraying the outside of the wheels. So one good coat on the inside should do it, and then the rest will be all for the outside. Right, I did actually do 5 coats on the roof, give it a nice thick coat there. It looks okay, so it's time to unwrap this bad boy. I'm very happy with the result. There's been no bleed through at all really. Everything looks great and I am happy with that. Right, I've gone over the whole thing with some 2000 grit wet and dry. That's just to flatten it off, and it's made it a little bit better, to be honest with you. It looks a little bit rustic already, so yeah, it's coming along. Now we need to add some more detail, I think. I then mix up some really runny paint, and that's basically to get in all of the, in between all the doors and all of the sort of edges and stuff like that, and it will pick up a lot of the detail. I then mix up some even darker paint and then go over the whole thing again, picking up as much detail as I can. Okay, I think that looks slightly weathered. He asked for slightly weathered, that's what he's got. That looks good. Right, next thing, he has sent me some more bits and bobs that he wants to put on. So we've got a net, we've got the plastic roof rack. It's fun, we've got to build that one. And we have also got the metal sort of checker plate to go on as well. And we have the safari bumper, so this is the metal safari bumper. Okay, before I attach any of the other stuff that he sent me, what I'm going to do is drill some holes in the roof, and that's to allow the light bar and the cables for that to be mounted. Right, I've taken the liberty of painting this roof rack white. The reason why that is because it just looked out of place being black, so I spoke to him and he said that's fine. So I went ahead and sprayed it white, and then I had to cut the front off because obviously the light bar that we've got won't fit with this roof rack as a whole, so I had to cut them bits off. Before it was that I mounted the roof rack though, I did take the opportunity to fit the light clusters on the front and on the rear, so all the lenses and indicators, stop lights, reverse lights, door handles. We also stuck the window wipers on, basically all the stuff. Right, if you've ever had a Land Rover, you'll know that the door steps, they snap really easy. So I use Q-Bond, and this has got like a reinforcing filler, and you can sort of put a little bit over it. I don't know if it'll work or not, but I'll be honest with you, you know, it's worth a try. So I'm going to add a little bit of this reinforcing stuff. So you put the powder on. The good thing about this is you can sort of manipulate it and move it around, being powder, you know, push it to wherever you want it to be. I'd say that looks pretty good to me. And after you've done that, you get the super runny super glue stuff that this Q-Bond comes with, and you just put literally a drip on the top, and then that will absorb and instantly go rock hard, therefore giving a bit of reinforcement. Hopefully he won't mind that I've done this, and you know, he'll understand that it's all for the good. Right, that's that done, all four done. So it's time now to get on with the checker plate. Right, everything is on there now, guys. So I think that is looking really good. I am very happy with the results of this thing, how it's turned out. Let's just hope that he's as happy as I am when I send it to him. So there you go, that is everything done. It's got everything that you could want on a little Land Rover, and everything works. I love it, it's beautiful. Right, I'm going to leave links to all of the parts that I used in the description, and don't forget, hit that subscribe button, that like button and that share button, and don't forget that bell icon as well, guys. It's free. See you on the next one.